It can hold 20 times its weight in water. This is the incredible absorbent power of peat moss. Thousands of years in the making, this ancient carbon sink is now the center of a massive industrial operation.
The giant vacuum harvest, a satisfying and high-speed process that cleans the earth for agriculture.
The harvest of peat moss only happens when the conditions are perfect, dry, windy, and precise.
Step 1. Drainage. The bog must be drained of excess water for years before the peat moss can be reached.
Centuries ago, every block of peat moss was cut by hand, a back-breaking task in the wet mud. Preserved by nature. This peat moss contains biological history dating back 10,000 years.
Manual labor gives way to massive horsepower. The industrial peat moss era has arrived.
Harrowing. The top layer of peat moss is loosened to allow the sun and wind to dry the fibers.
Ridging increases the surface area, speeding up the evaporation of moisture from the peat moss.
Precision timing. The peat moss must reach exactly 40% moisture before the vacuum can begin.
The monster awakens. The pneumatic vacuum harvester is the apex machine of the peat moss industry. Pure suction power. This machine creates a localized storm to lift only the driest peat moss fibers. A one-flow masterpiece. The ground is cleaned in a single pass, leaving a smooth, dark surface behind. Bulk transfer. Thousands of cubic meters of peat moss are moved to the processing center daily. Navigation is a challenge. The soft ground requires specialized infrastructure to support the peat moss weight. Purification. The raw peat moss is cleaned of all non-organic and large debris in the first stage.
Moisture control. For premium products, the peat moss is further dried using industrial heat.
Grading. Different types of plants require different textures of peat moss for optimal growth.
Chemical balance. Peat moss is naturally acidic, making it perfect for blueberries and rhododendrons.
Efficiency in shipping. Because it is so light, the peat moss must be compressed to save space. industrial speed. The one-flow system produces one finished pallet of peat moss every 2 minutes. Global reach. This peat moss will travel thousands of miles to greenhouses across the world. The cycle of life. Modern peat moss harvesting includes a strict ecological restoration plan.
Rewetting. By restoring the water table, the peat moss bog begins its 1,000-year recovery. Sustainability. Ensuring that the peat moss industry leaves a positive footprint on the planet.
Racing against the rain. If the peat moss gets wet, the entire harvest day is lost.
aerospace engineering in the bog. The turbine is designed to create maximum lift for the peat moss. "24-hour operations. When the weather is dry, the peat moss harvest never stops.
From the bog to your table, peat moss is the silent partner in global food security.
Beyond gardening, frozen peat moss blocks provide a traditional and industrial energy source.
High-tech transformation. Peat moss is the raw material for activated carbon used in water filtration.
The structural integrity is stable after the nutrient introduction.
Yes, the immobilization rate here is exactly what we predicted.
A monolithic scale of engineering, transforming an ancient resource into a modern essential.
Resilient, absorbent, ancient. This is the industrial power of peat moss.
Extreme engineering. Pure precision. This is harvest motion.